In this video, I want to share with you a story of an incident that happened very recently in the United Kingdom, because it involves a copy of the Quran, which I think then would be of interest to my Muslim friends. But also, I think what this story shows is where the United Kingdom is right now in terms of freedoms and liberty. I often say to my Moroccan friends that people have more liberty in Morocco than they do in the United Kingdom. And my Moroccan friends find that very difficult to believe. But I think this story represents that truth quite well. So, 4 teenage boys, 14 years old, they decide that whoever loses a game of Call of Duty has to pay the forfeit of buying a copy of the Quran and bringing that into school. Now, you can argue that using the Quran as a forfeit, as a form of punishment, is disrespectful to the Quran, to Islam, to Muslims in general. And I wouldn't argue against that point. But I think it's important to take into account that the United Kingdom is much more of a secular country than Morocco is. It holds less importance in religion than Morocco and other religious countries. And so the idea of using the Quran as a forfeit should be taken in that context. And also it's worth remembering, of course, that these are 14-year-old boys, and teenage boys, they really live in their own world. They have their own code of conduct, their own sense of morality. So for a group of 14-year-old boys living in a relatively secular, non-religious country, the Quran is just not seen in the context as it is in Morocco. So the boy brings the copy of the Quran into school. His friends and they read it, they have a look at it, they flip through the pages, and then the forfeit is over. That's it. So the boy puts the copy of the Quran in his bag. Later on, when he's walking down a corridor, a very busy corridor, the Quran accidentally falls out of his bag and lands on the floor, and it's slightly damaged. So the headmaster hears about this incident and he suspends the boys for a week. The mother of the boy who bought the Quran and brought it into school then goes into the local mosque with the headmaster and apologizes to members of the Muslim community for what her son did. The school also contacts the police, and they record this as a non-crime hate incident. And that alone, to me, indicates everything that seems to be wrong right now with the UK and validates my claim that people in Morocco have a greater level of freedom than people in the United Kingdom do. What are the police doing, getting themselves involved in an incident which they themselves regard as a non-crime? Everything we do on our daily lives is a non-crime. We get out of bed, we eat our breakfast, we go to school, go to work. All of these are non-crimes. Why should the police get involved in something that is just not a crime, that they themselves regard as not a crime? But this incident is then recorded. It becomes a police incident. The boy who bought the Quran is slightly autistic. He has received death threats from members of the Muslim community because of the damage to the Quran. And he is scared to go back to school right now. His mother is saying that he doesn't eat, he's lost his appetite, he's very, very frightened. And in the wider UK community, there is a lot of controversy over what has happened. Some say the headmaster overreacted. Many people say that the police shouldn't have been involved and that the mother didn't need to go into the mosque and apologize. So I've asked a few of my friends here in Morocco and also some of my students. I teach a number of 14-year-old boys, the exact age group of the boys in the UK involved in this incident. So I asked my friends and my students for their opinion. Almost exclusively, they said the mother shouldn't have needed to go into the mosque. Some say that it was the right thing for her to do. Not a single person that I've spoken to in Morocco believes the police should have been involved. Not one person. Quite a few believe that the headmaster overreacted. The general consensus here in Morocco is it is disrespectful. The boys were wrong to use the Quran as a form of punishment, as a forfeit to a video game. And like I say, I can accept that argument. The other thing that a lot of my Moroccan friends, in fact all of my Moroccan friends, said is how this idea of the death threats is totally unacceptable. And when I explained to my Moroccan friends here that some of the Muslim leaders in the United Kingdom were dismissing the death threats or playing down the level of importance of the death threats, they found that totally unacceptable as well. Many of them said to me, if you make death threats or you somehow validate death threats, then you are not a true Muslim. So these Muslim leaders in the United Kingdom, according to my Muslim friends here in Morocco, are not true Muslims. It's not what you do as a Muslim. Islam is a religion of peace, of tolerance, and of understanding. And that's why I think there was a lot of sadness at the disrespect shown to the Quran. And then I asked my Moroccan friends here, what would happen if it was the other way around? If some 14-year-old Moroccan boys brought in a copy of the Bible as a form of punishment. And it was very clear that this would almost certainly not happen. That Islam teaches everybody to be respectful, not just of Islam, but of Christianity, of all other religions. So the idea of a copy of the Bible being seen as an object of punishment would be something that would be almost unheard of in Morocco. But if it did happen, then it would be very much something kept within the school. Maybe the parents would be involved. In fact, a lot of my students said that they would fear the response from their parents more than they would fear the response from the school. But none of my Moroccan friends ever thought that the police would be involved. It would not even enter the debate from the school or from the parents as to whether the police should or should not be involved. They would just not be involved. So when I reflect on all of this from the point of view of a person from the UK living in Morocco, I can't help but thinking that at the very least, the standard of action that takes place should be something that is comparable to the action that would take place in a Muslim country. So it's very clear that the police should never have been involved, that the teacher overreacted. and that the boys should have shown a little bit more respect. But anyway, that's my understanding of the incident. That's my opinion and the opinions of some of my friends and students. But I'd be very interested to know what your opinions are. So please leave your opinions in the comments, and let's have a debate and discussion about this. Do you think the police should have been involved? Do you think the boys were disrespectful? Do you think the mother should have gone into the mosque and apologized on behalf of her son? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.